Hey everybody, it's great to see you all again, and welcome back to the Backroom podcast with your host, as always, Lucas Jacobs. I don't know why I introduced myself that way. It sounds so weird and formal, but I don't know. It just kind of sounds right because I feel like it's almost like an interesting little radio show. Also, you can see Matilda back there. I'm just leaving the door open so the cats can come in and out as they please. And Doobie will be joining me for today's podcast if you guys are watching on YouTube. Alright, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, as always, I'll give you just a little bit of an update as to what's been going on in my life. And in all honesty, hey, no. I don't like her going on top of the hamper because she dents it in. Say hello to Matilda, everybody. Say hello to everybody, honey. Oh. I'll just keep her on my lap for now. So yeah, what's been going on in my life for the past week or so? I guess it kind of helps me keep track. That's what I was saying. This, keeps me, in a way, helps me keep track of the stuff that's, I don't know, going on in my life, just in case if I forget. So, I don't know if you guys heard about that volcano that I believe went off near the Tonga Island chain, or in the Tonga Island chain. That was an interesting event, and over here in Washington, we did have a tsunami warning for a little while, which, that was interesting. I've never lived in a place where it's been like that, and even since, I've lived here, it's never happened before, so, that's, that's pretty interesting. I recently got into woodworking, and when I say woodworking, I mean, I bought a saw, I bought a little thing to make sure I get straight cuts, I bought a little thing to hold the wood down, and I got some pallets. I have already had the pallets for a little while, so I've been breaking those down, and I'm making myself a workbench. I'll be posting stuff on Twitter about that, and probably maybe even show some images here in the next show to show you the progress. It's bare bones, and I have no clue what I'm doing, but I watched a few videos, and now I'm just trying things out myself to see how it goes. So, yeah, that should be fun. I'll get more into that as the actual topic of the podcast comes along, because today we're going to be just bullshitting around, and I'm going to be talking just directly to you, kind of a little bit of a refresher and breather from last week's really intense, slightly depressing episode. So go ahead and get your favorite drink, get a bite to eat, or maybe do some housework or something if you have me on in the background. Just sit back and relax. And if you want to keep up with what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, check me out at Twitter at LucasJacobs170. And also check out my email for any business inquiries, lucasjacobs170@gmail.com. But I'll go ahead and just, put that in the description. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start out with just something I did the other day. Since the rain's been letting up here in Western Washington, I've been trying to get out and about a little bit more. And since the area that I live in is kind of hilly, I gotta be careful because trees have a tendency to fall once the soil gets really inundated and we get a lot of wind. Well, I went out to a place that I haven't been to in probably about 6 months, and it felt good. I hiked out to there. It took me about maybe 45 minutes to actually get to, and I mean, it's not exactly like it's incredibly remote, but there's no houses nearby it. There's no businesses. It is in the wilderness. It's on a logging road, which is really cool, kind of behind all the houses and stuff that I live at or live within. And I don't know, it just felt really good to get back out there. Sorry for that jump cut. It just felt really good to get out there and get away from, I don't know, society, all this COVID shit. I mean, Christ, we've been going through COVID for basically the end of 2019. At this point, it feels like it's never going to end, but it will eventually at some point, or we'll learn to live with it better. But yeah, just being able to enjoy nature and getting away from just everything, trying to separate as much as possible. And I don't know, I'm going to try to do more of that as this year goes on. I forget sometimes how gorgeous the state is that I live in. They don't call it the Green State for nothing. Maybe, I don't know if it's actually called the Green State, but we get shitloads of rain, so it would make sense if we are. What else has really been going on? I'm gonna be also getting back into surfing. That's the next thing I wanted to talk about to you guys. Surfing, as you guys, well, some of you guys may know, is something that is really close to my heart. I talked about on the stream the other night about what got me into it, but since some of you guys may not have heard that, I'll go ahead and tell you right here, right now. So, when I was around 10 years old, there was this movie that came out, and I loved animated movies. It was this animated movie about surfing penguins, which I think was kind of around the time that Happy Feet came out, so I watched it, and I fucking fell in love with it. It was just about these penguins and kind of like, like an interview where they would interview these different penguins, but mainly focusing on a singular character. And just, it was really cool to watch them surf and how amazing it looked to be on the wave and to be in a barrel. They did a great job with the movie, so that's why it spoke to me so much. And from watching that, I thought, I want to move close to the ocean. I want to learn how to surf. So that's what I did after a series of events that unfolded in my life that gave me the opportunity to do so. And I moved to basically to the ocean back in 2019, and I never really looked back since. I basically got a wetsuit as quickly as I could. Just a moment. I'm back, everybody. I was just going to grab some water, but someone came in to say hello. This is the third cat that you did not get to meet in the last episode. His name is Artemis, and he is such a good boy. He's not a huge fan of being held, as you can tell. He's he's always super, super rigid, but he's an awesome cat. Super friendly, just, Jesus Christ, tearing out of here like a bat out of hell. Alright, getting back on track, what were we talking about? Yes, we were talking about what got me into surfing and how I decided to achieve that goal. So, again, I moved out to a place where I could learn how to surf. And I started out by getting just the wetsuit and the glove. I started out with just the wetsuit. And since it was summertime, that's all I really needed. And I got a bodyboard, and I just went out into the water pretty much like fucking every single day. And I just got wrecked. The waves here can go from very tiny, insignificant baby waves, like at any beach, to fucking monsters, and they break right on the sand, which is kind of scary, because if you get hit on the sand, it could fucking break your neck or something. But it was a lot of fun just going out there, getting a little bit out there. I didn't want to go any further than where I could touch because the water was just dragging you back and forth so much. It was scary to, push further out. So for the first couple of months, that's all I did. I just stayed really close to shore, and I'd let the waves just push me in. And I had a blast doing that. Oh my God, that was fun. But as the months went on, I wanted something more. So I got boots and I got gloves, and I started paddling out, and I tried, surfing, actually trying to surf to catch these waves. And that wasn't working very well. It's a bodyboard. It's not really meant to be surfed. So I thought, okay, well, I need a board. And thanks to a very generous and kind individual, I was able to get one. And from there, I just went out any day that I could. I strapped my board in the back of my, I could fit it in the back of my car, and sometimes I'd put it on the roof and I'd just go out. And surfing is a lot harder than bodyboarding. You cannot have a bad day of bodyboarding unless there's no waves. With surfing, it's 90% paddling, 10% standing and catching the wave. And even when I got all the way to where I wanted to be, and again, I wasn't comfortable enough at this point to go super far out there, so I stayed close where I could still kind of touch the bottom. And I tried catching them there, and it sucks getting wrecked by a wave when you're on a surfboard, because you don't really have the ability to dive under it if it's a big one, which is like the one that I've got. And yeah, you don't really have a lot of options with it if a wave is going to break on you. You just have to dive underneath and get as low as you can. Anyway, getting back to the point, I practiced and practiced and practiced and failed many, many times to actually stand on a wave until I just slowly started to get it. And it was like once I finally got it, I had it, but I just had to improve upon it, which was really fucking cool. And like I said, I've told the story on here once or twice. I've had a lot of really amazing and scary experiences out there. I have been right next to a whale as it breached, which was incredible. I've been caught in a couple of rip currents, which is scary, and you have to know how to deal with them. If you're ever caught in a rip current, by the way, don't try to paddle against it. Just paddle to the side of it, and you'll eventually paddle out. I've had some interesting experiences, and lots of waves that I can't even remember to describe now, but it's fun, and it's never the same. That's what, I guess, kept me doing it, and why I really want to get back to doing it again. So, what else is on the agenda? Ah, yes, my new woodworking hobby. For some of you guys out there, again, that might be a little funny. I don't know. I've been really just into trying something new for this next year, and woodworking is something that's fascinated me, but had a barrier of entry that I thought I could not achieve. But turns out I can. I just need a little bit of space and a saw or two, and a clamp or two just to hold things down in a way to get straight cuts, and then just got to get some nails, a screwdriver, drill, and a hammer. I did not need to have a lot of materials for this, and it's been a lot of fun. I've just broken apart pallets, and now I'm trying to repurpose them into something useful, and the first thing I'm going to make is a workbench. And I got the frame of it done yesterday, so the next thing I'm going to do today, after I'm done with this, is probably put the legs on and hopefully actually get to the point where it's standing, where I can then start putting a flat surface on the top and then another supporting surface below. Which, again, if you guys are following me on Twitter, I'll show you some updates of that if that's something that you're interested in. And I might even show some pictures on here the next time that I'm live. If you can see it on YouTube, of course. So that's, I guess, what I've really been trying to do with my time, was just getting out in the wilderness, wanting to get back into the water, and practicing woodworking. That's the recreational stuff that I'm trying to work on and do right now. So yeah, I'd say that even though 2022 is getting off to a bit of an interesting start, it's actually going pretty all right for me. I'm happy, and I'm trying to, do things I used to do and start something new too. Now, to keep on the trend of telling lighthearted tales and, I don't know, just nice things that have been going on for me, I'm going to tell you a really embarrassing story. And this is going to be one that, now that you guys know it, I know I'm never going to forget it. I very rarely think about this, but it came up last night when I was dreaming, and I thought, yeah, this sounds like a good idea to tell. So, this arose out of a terrible situation, and I still feel bad about it. So when my mom was going through her infection, I loved her at the time, but I could not stand being around her very much. And Mom, if you're listening to this, I am sorry. I love you very much. It just was a very challenging time. So I had a hard time enjoying being around my mom at the time. And my ex and I, we were living together at this period. And all three of us living in that house together got kind of interesting, because my mom did not like my ex very much. For some pretty good reasons, too. I decided that I was gonna go to the park, and apparently my mom was gonna be leaving for a little while, and I didn't know where she was going. I don't believe, at least I don't remember. And I texted my ex saying, hey, let me know when she's left. That wasn't to my ex. I did not send that to my ex. Who do you think I sent it to? Yep, I sent it to my mom. Oh boy, okay. How do you diffuse a situation like that when they know that they're the one you're talking about? I immediately fired back with like, I mean, sorry, something else. Well, my mom knew exactly that it was me and what I was talking about, and I forget what she said. Oh god, I think I like blurred that out of my memory just to never have to remember it again. But I felt so fucking awful after I did that. But oh my god, I went back after she had left. I sent that to my ex as well, and I just camped out in my room for about a day and a half. Uncomfortable to go out and confront my mom about that. Luckily, by the time at the point when time had passed enough for me to go out there, it was never spoken about. And I'm glad that it wasn't. I felt awful, and she knew that I felt awful too. It was a pretty rough time, and I guess now thinking back on it, that story makes that time a little less crappy. But oh my god, I don't know if you guys have ever done that, and if you haven't, count yourself lucky that you've never accidentally sent a text to someone and when you were trying to send it to someone else. Especially when it's something really sensitive like that. It's an embarrassing experience, and one that I do not want to relive again in any way. It sucked. Alright everybody, I know this was a short podcast for this week. I just wanted to have a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a, I don't know, a relaxation spell from last week's really long and really intense podcast. I'll be uploading the just strictly audio version of this first, more than likely, and then after that I will go ahead and upload the video, so you guys can go ahead and enjoy both separately or however you would prefer to watch me. But anyways, everybody, thank you so much for all the love and support. Forgive me if things take a little bit of time on the home end. It's been really interesting over here, and I'll probably make another episode at some point just talking about how things are at home, because there's some things that I don't completely share, and I want to. So I look forward to doing so. So everybody, thank you so much for all the love and support. If you catch up with my streams, you can find them on Twitter. I post there every single day when I'm going live, so you can check me out. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. And you know what? I'll catch you all in the next episode. Drive safe, everybody.